is an exclusive presentation of Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
The hot pretzels are on. You can smell those pretzels all the way over here on the sidelines. Cablevision Sports presents North Jersey High School football. Tonight from Wayne Hills High School, it's the Norsemen of Northern Valley Demarest versus the Wayne Hills Patriots. Hello again, everyone. I'm Lou Brogno, and welcome to Wayne Hills on an absolutely beautiful night for a key NVIL game between these two rivals, two teams that met for the Group 3 championship a year ago, Demarest and Wayne Hills. Alongside on the call, the game is Steve Tober. And Steve, as I mentioned, these two teams played two terrific games a year ago, playing for the Group 3 championship, Wayne Hills winning by 1 point.
Well, remember, Lou, they met in Week 3 in the same situation as this year. Wayne Hills 3-0, Demarest 2-1, and Demarest won that game. Coach Chris Olson was saying to me tonight, hey, it's the same position as last year. We'll see what happens.
Let's talk about this Demarest team a little bit. The Norsemen come in with a record of 2-1 on the season.
Yeah, Demarest, the team which struggled against Fairlawn last week, winning by 1 point, but they jumped out to a 21-point lead. Now, you look at them averaging 24 points a game. It's a club that's changed its personality, has slowed the game down a little more to a clock management game, Lou, graduating the great quarterback Vinny Esposito. But it's a team which certainly can score in bunches.
A lot of talented players on this Demarest team, but one player who might be the heart and soul of the Norsemen is number 1, Kenny Amsel.
And you see that number 1, Lou, he reminds you a little bit of Brian Toll, perhaps. In fact, as Coach Scott Rubinetti said, don't spread that around, but the kid is a talented 1AA prospect, Albany Sacred Heart among the teams looking at this young back. He's got the combination of power and speed. You can't beat that as a high school back.
The Wayne Hills Patriots, meanwhile, are off to a sensational start. They are 3-0, and they just have steamrolled all 3 opponents.
Yeah, it's really been a case where the first team doesn't even play more than a couple of quarters for the most part, but a team that certainly is power. Again, you look at that 24 points a game, you look at what they give up, which is very little, 10-2 last year. A team that Chris Olson likes a lot, a team with a revamped its offensive line. It's a whole new offensive line, new quarterback, but they still have the star in the backfield.
So many weapons on this Wayne Hills team, and one of those electrifying weapons on offense is the outstanding junior tailback, Ray Van Penen.
You know, covering Van Penen in the playoffs last year, Chris Olson said, watch this kid next year. Was not the primary back totally last year, playing behind a couple of other backs, DeSico and Giampapa, but this year he's emerged. He's got great speed, great acceleration. Chris Olson says, if there's a better back in North Jersey, I haven't seen him.
Should be an outstanding game between these two rivals, Demarest and Wayne Hills. And, you know, high school football is, much more than just a game. It's a community event. And with that in mind, joining us here in the pregame is the mayor of Wayne, Scott T. Rumana. And Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for joining us. Talk about the athletics in Wayne and how important it is to the community.
Oh, it's just awesome. I mean, we've got great athletic programs from the PAL to the Boys and Girls Club, all the way on up to the high school level. And I've been so proud of the success of our athletes. I love working with them. I've actually had the pleasure of coaching Ray Van Penen myself. I happen to coach at the PAL and the lacrosse program. And I can tell you that he was an outstanding 8th grade lacrosse player, an athlete, one of the fastest kids I've ever had the pleasure of coaching and getting to know. So.
Well, all the programs in Wayne have had so much success, not only football, but in all sports. It's got to give the community a sense of pride, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We've got, it really comes down to dedication. And that's something that, I mean, as an athlete myself, I've always known that you've got to put in the effort and you get the results. And that's what all of our students do, and all our student athletes rather do, is they work very hard at what their sport is. And they spend the time to make sure that they're trained properly and they work out all the time. And I'll tell you, that's how we have a successful program. We've got great youth leagues, and then that's how you get great success at the high school level.
How you feel about the Patriots' chances tonight?
Oh, I think the Patriots chances are great tonight. And I couldn't be happier. Saying earlier that all the years that we were trying to get a state championship, and we kept on coming up short, and I became mayor, and we've won twice since I become mayor. So,
so you're the good luck charm.
I don't know if I'm the good luck charm or not, but I'll take a little credit for it, I guess.
Mr. Mayor, thanks very much for joining us. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we'll be back with the opening kickoff in a moment. Demarest and Wayne Hills coming right at you on Cablevision Sports.
Lou Brogno here for the New Jersey Challenge. Invitations to participate in the challenge have been sent to all high school principals in our News 12 area. If you feel you haven't received an application, call this hotline number, 877-328-9271 for more information. If you have already reviewed your materials and are putting off sending in your registration, remember the deadline is October 3rd. Only 32 schools will get to play, and only one will have the chance to win $10,000 for their school. See you on the challenge.
If it were easy, everyone would do it. It takes a very special person to join the National Multiple Sclerosis Society's bike tours to end the devastating effects of MS. If you are that special person, seeking a challenge, wanting to make a difference in a friend or neighbor's life, and eager to have a really good time, call 1-800-FIGHT-MS for information on the date and MS 150 bike tour nearest you.
And welcome back to Wayne Hills High School. The Patriots and the Norsemen of Demarest getting ready to go tonight in a key MBI battle. Demarest 2-1, defeating Bergenfield 46-14, losing to Ramapo, and then hanging on against Fairlawn last week 27-26. The Norsemen under head coach Scott Rubinetti in his 5th season. He's done a marvelous job with this team, Steve. They have been in the state championship game the last 2 years.
Lou, he came in. It's difficult to rebuild high school programs. He went 2-8 his first 2 years, but the last 2 years have been tremendous seasons. 8-4 in 2003, a loss to Ramapo in a close game at Giant Stadium, and 10-2 last year. Lost, of course, to Wayne Hills 17-16 in the North 1 Group 3 final. So Scott Rubinetti, the former Montclair State University place kicker, has done a tremendous job.
And the captains are out at midfield, getting ready for the coin toss. And the head coach of Wayne Hills on the other side is Chris Olson. There he is in his 19th season. 2 titles in the last 3 years, and what an outstanding program he has built over those years here at Wayne Hills.
One of the hardest working programs from a coaching and player perspective. You'll find they work throughout the summer tremendously in depth, and he has a great staff under him. Chris, though his record is glittering. Of course, his 2 sons, Chris and Greg, have come through. Chris now quarterback at University of Virginia, and Greg at Miami as a tight end. So it's a great tradition here at Wayne Hills.
All right, let's go down to midfield and have a listen to the coin toss.
And we'll defer to second half.
Well, Wayne Hills won the toss, and they have elected to defer. So Demarest will receive to begin the football game. And very important for the Norsemen to get off to a good start offensively. 2 weeks ago against Ramapo was a 9-0 game at the half. They were playing very well against the Green Raiders, but then made some mistakes offensively in the second half, which enabled Ramapo to go on to a 33-0 win.
Well, Coach Rubinetti said, hey, we can hang with Ramapo. Made a couple of mistakes. We're down 9-0. We have the football in the third quarter. Things happen. But he feels good about his club. Last week against Fairlawn, yes, a narrow victory, but they jumped off to a 21-0 lead. He had 3 defensive starters out, 3 important players on special teams because they had a punt block return for a score by Fairlawn. He feels the team is definitely together tonight in terms of health and ready to go, and a team they feel they match up pretty well physically against in Wayne Hills.
So Schultz will tee it up for the Patriots at the 40-yard line. Wayne Hills will kick left to right on your screen. And back deep for Demarest inside the 5 is Goulad and Ansel.
And Lou, if they're 2 better return men in the NBIL, you'll have to really look far to find them because Ansel and, of course, Goulad are tremendous.
And there is Schultz Scott Schultz, the junior, getting ready to kick it off. And this game, a rematch of last year's Group 3 championship, is underway. It's a high kick. Bounces to Goulad, takes it at the 10, angles to the 15-yard line, gets outside, breaks the tackle, and gets across the 20, and then up to the 23. So Demarest will put it in play there. The Norsemen coming out with their quarterback, the junior, Harrison Weiss, 5'10", 165, and filling some big shoes this year. Vinny Esposito, of course, graduated, and Harrison Weiss takes over at the controls. So Weiss in the huddle somewhere there as he calls the signals and comes up to the line of scrimmage. As you look at Kenny Amsel. 1st and 10, Demarest at the 23 out of the shotgun. They hand it to Amsel. He breaks one tackle, then reverses his field, breaks another tackle, gets outside and picks up excellent yardage. There's an excellent run by the Demarest senior tailback, Kenny Amsel.
Incredible penetration there by Wayne Hills, but Amsel, a second and third effort. He could have been stopped for at least a 4 or 5 yard loss. That penetration here, Dave Ogden, who's been a maven for tackling running backs behind the line of scrimmage. That time, though, Amsel able to get away and make a nice run out of it.
So it is 2nd down and about 1 as the football sits at the 34-yard line. Handoff goes up the middle this time and then crashing forward, trying to pick up that 1st down yardage is Kenny Amsel.
And he's got it.
He does have it at the 35-yard line.
Amsel has a combination of power and speed. Just exactly the combo you want as a running back, and he is a great 1AA prospect.
Just underway here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 35. Play action. Take the handoff to Amsel. Now Weiss in trouble, and he goes down behind the line of scrimmage. Had no chance. Schultz and Dave Ogden combine on the sack. Ogden coming into the game had 7 sacks on the season. Wayne Hill's pass rush is ferocious.
Lou Ogden against Indian Hills, 5 sacks. Against Bergenfield, 7 tackles, 3 for a loss. He's been just a fixture in the opposition's backfield. And Schultz is a powerful kid at 6'4", 245. There we see Coach Olson, who's going to be flying down to Miami tomorrow morning to see Greg play for University of Miami, hosting South Florida.
And he has been outstanding so far for the Hurricanes this season. 2nd down play action again. Weiss back to throw, firing into coverage, incomplete. Intended for Scott Gillen, and he was double covered. Nick Romeo and Sarabia on the coverage downfield.
Romeo, one of their experienced kids in the secondary, but Weiss has been a good quarterback in the early going for Demarest. Remember, he's taking over for a young man who really ran a spread offense last year. This year, with a new quarterback in Weiss, the team a little bit more of a clock management team. Over that time, with that kind of a play, that's not indicative of the type of two-back clock management team Demarest has usually been in the early going.
So now a 3rd and 18 from the Norsemen, and they're in danger of having to give the football to Wayne Hills. Lod goes in motion. Weiss in the shotgun. Straight back to throw. Has time this time. Delivers over the middle, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Gillen. Would have been short of the 1st down. And so the Norsemen will have to punt it away. Kenny Amsel comes in to kick for Demarest.
Well, if there's any good sign, though, there, and you said it, great protection for Weiss, which maybe bodes well for the next series for Demarest.
So Romeo and Ray Van Peenan are back deep inside their 40-yard line. Amsel to kick it. It's a high snap, but he steps into it. A high end-over-end kick that is fielded by Romeo. A fair catch called for at the 44-yard line. So Wayne Hills will put it in play there, their first offensive possession of the game, with 9:42 remaining in the first quarter, and no score. The Patriots coming in 3-0, blowing out Indian Hills. blowing out Fairlawn and crushing Bergenfield. Their quarterback, Mike Peischel. He's been on fire, 16 of 22 in his first 3 games, 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He's thrown for 294 yards, and that's 16 of 22, 73% pass completion. He sends receivers split to the left. 1 setback behind Peischel. They have excellent field position to the Patriots. Van Penen hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped. He picks up maybe a yard or 2. This Demarest defensive front, very physical, with Dickerson 6'3", 282, and Anthony Lemus 6'1", 281. There's the Wayne Hills offense. Up front, Matt Galo is the center. Sanchez and Staluppi are the guards. Johnson and Ogden the tackles, and John Ein is the tight end. Zach Mink, 1 wide receiver, and Nick Romeo the other. Alex Gibson starts at fullback. Ray Van Penen, the tailback, behind the senior quarterback, Mike Peischel. So it is 2nd down and about 8. Handoff Van Penen, hit at the line of scrimmage, spins away, and then is brought down in Demarest territory. Got across the 50-yard line and picks up additional yardage. Chris Kolsar, the junior defensive end, on the tackle for Demarest. So now a huge play, especially for this Demarest defense, Steve. It's 3rd down and 2.
Well, the line right now is matching up pretty well, as you see the Demarest defensive front.
There's Kolsar up front with Danny D, Anthony Lemus, Chris Dickerson, Callis Guzman and Rim, the linebackers, Amsel, McAgna, Galad, and Gillen, the defensive backs. So a 3rd down and 2. And the play run up the middle looks like it should be enough for Wayne Hills' 1st down. It is. Down at the 44-yard line. Ray Van Penen puts his head down and picks up 1st down yardage.
A little conservative in the first series for Wayne Hills, but why not? You got a 1st down. Van Penen on 2nd effort on the 3rd down, on the 2nd down to set up the 3rd and short. And Wayne Hills with a territorial advantage, taking advantage of it and trying to move the football slowly but surely.
So 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line of Demarest. Twin receivers come split to the right side, and Peischel in his shotgun running some option. Flips outside, Van Penen hits the corner and gets outside. Makes a nice move and dives across the 30-yard line as Mike Goulad makes the tackle, but not before Van Penen picks up big yardage and moves the ball inside the Demarest 30.
Well, just what I'm talking about. Wayne Hill starting off a little conservatively. They go to the option series, and Van Penen has a great 2nd step. He's so quick off the ball. Picks up 16 yards in that play, and that was run to perfection.
Van Penen coming into tonight's action. 37 carries, 331 yards, 9 touchdowns. But the most impressive stat, 8.9 yards per carry. That's almost 9 yards per pop. Handoff to the fullback, and lumbering ahead is Alex Gibson. And he picks up good yardage as he gets inside the 25 down to the 22-yard line.
Well, right behind his left guard, and hey, if you can get 8 yards a pop like that, stick to it. It's a nice offset play to Van Penen to one side, the option, come back with the fullback on a basic dive play off the left side, and nice yardage.
So we're approaching the 7-minute mark remaining 1st quarter. And a 2nd down and about 2.5 coming up for the Patriots. Just shy of the 21. Handoff. Nope. Fake the handoff to Van Penen. Peischel looking, end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Wayne Hills. Nick Romeo on the reception. And the Patriots strike first.
Well, they go to their best receiver, Romeo, and terrific play action for Wayne Hills.
So Scott Schultz is in to kick the extra point. Peischel to hold. Snap, good kick on the way, drilled through. And with 6:51 remaining in the 1st quarter, it's Wayne Hills 7 and Demarest nothing. What a pass by Peischel.
Well, we'll take another look at this. This drive was patented Wayne Hill's precision. Great play action. Peischel, we talked about his efficiency passing, good protection. And there he sees Romeo down the center of the field. Good grab by Romeo, who's pretty well covered by Scott Gillen. But Romeo, a good-sized, experienced receiver, pulling that one out of the air. And just nice, basic offensive package for Wayne Hills, and 7-0 lead.
For Romeo, his 7th reception of this young season. 7 receptions, 3 touchdowns. That's a pretty good bang for your buck. He's also averaging 26.5 yards per reception. So Schultz will kick it off, and Demarest finds themselves in an early 7-0 hole. The Norsemen feeling pretty good this week, Steve. We both talked to Scott Rubinetti, and he feels pretty good that his team had a good week of practice, would come out ready to play, felt they matched up very well with the Patriots, which certainly was the case last year. Here's Goulad looking to get a block on the corner. He does get outside momentarily, but Van Penen on special teams makes the open field tackle. How do you like that?
Well, he's all over the field, but look at the first 2 kickoffs. Great coverage by Wayne Hills. They've stopped, 2 top-rate return men. Goulad both times here returning to the 20-yard line. You can't do much better than that. Of course, credit Schultz with a tremendous kick to the goal line to start things.
So 1st and 10 for the Norsemen at the 20-yard line. And the thing that killed Demarest on their first drive was that sack behind the line of scrimmage. Prior to that, they had been moving the ball pretty good on a nice run by Kenny Amsell. And he gets the handoff on 1st down. Schultz wraps him up at the line of scrimmage and drops him. So no pickup for Amsell. He might have lost a yard on the play. And it will bring up a 2nd down and 10.
And Schultz is a fixture there, defensive end, 6'4", 245. He has a load to move out of there. That time he held his position and able to bring down Amsell after a very short pickup.
Of course, for years in the NBIL, it always was Wayne Hills and Ramapo. Those were the 2 teams. But Demarest kind of stuck their foot in the door over the last couple of years, and the Norsemen brought the program right up to that level. This year, a little bit of a rebuilding campaign, trying to see if they could stay with the Patriots. And they hand it off, no gain. So now another 3rd down and long, 3rd and 10.
Paul June, defensive tackle, 5'9", 212. Good penetration, good low acceleration at the line of scrimmage. And right now, the battle at the line being won by that defensive front of Wayne Hills.
So 3rd and 9 at the 21-yard line. Twin receivers go to the left and 1 single receiver to the right. Amsell, the lone setback. And out of the shotgun, Harrison Weiss steps up away from the pressure, really gets hammered. He stepped up away, but then Paul Jun, the junior defensive tackle, 5'9", 212, just absolutely smashed him. And Demarest will have to kick.
And Lou, what made that play was the initial penetration of linebacker Mike Fulham, number 40, by getting in the backfield so quickly on the blitz. Weiss had nowhere to go, had to step up, and he was a dead duck.
So Amsell has to kick from the shadow of his own goalpost. Another high snap, and he gets it off. It's a rocket kick, beautiful kick by Amsell. Here's Romeo at the 40. At the 50-yard line, breaks the tackle and dives ahead into Demarest territory across the 45.
17-yard return on that punt return by Romeo. And again, Wayne Hills has superb field position, this time starting in Norseman territory.
So Demarest will put it in play. Wayne Hills will put it in play in Demarest territory. 4:37 remaining in the first. And the Patriots have a 7-0 lead. They come up in the eye with twin receivers to the left. And Peischel gives to Van Penen, a huge hole, and he breaks into the Demarest secondary, spins across the 40 and down to the 36-yard line. Well, we were kind of wondering, what would we see from Wayne Hills? They have absolutely pulverized their first 3 opponents this season. And many people thought, well, maybe Wayne Hills is just a little bit below Ramapo coming into the season. I'm starting to get the feeling that is not the case. The Patriots look just as sharp tonight as they have in the first 3 games. This is a good football team. And the handoff goes to Van Penen again. He keeps those feet moving, picks up a first down near the 32-yard line.
And Paul June, one of the guards, 5'9", 212, providing nice protection. This is an all-new offensive line. Dave Ogden, the left tackle, 6'3", 235. Pete Starupi and June at the guards, and Matt Gallo at center. Matty Johnson is the other tackle, 6'2", 275. It's a good new-look line for Wayne Hills.
1st and 10 for the Patriots at the 30-yard line. Peischel back to throw, flips it outside Van Penen, and he can't make the catch. That could be a loose ball, and it's picked up by Demarest. Here's Golan. He's running up the sideline. He's at the 30, to the 20-yard line. He will go. Touchdown, Demarest. What a break for the Norsemen as Mike Goulad picks up the lateral pass and takes it all the way for the touchdown.
Maybe that's the break that Demarest needed. Opportunistic Mike Goulad, who does it with punt returns on defense as a receiver, and that time with a tremendous fumble return. And a lateral pass.
Just like that, the Norsemen are back in the game. An opportunity to tie it here. Matt Giannetti is in to kick the extra point. Snap is high, gets away. Goulad looks to pick it up, and he just falls on the ball. So Demarest does not tie the game as they misfire on the snap for the extra point. But they're right back in it with 3:17 remaining in the first quarter. It's now Wayne Hills 7 and Demarest 6.
We'll see Peischel looking to his left, throwing behind, and Van Penen never really had good control of that ball, but being a lateral pass, a live ball, good job to keep Van Penen occupied as Goulad picks it up, scoops it up, and he is off to the races for the touchdown, and a great turn of events if you're a Demarest Norseman fan. Wayne Hills on the move at that point, and wow, Demarest, let's see if that can spark them.
Let's see, you're right, if that gives Demarest some life here, as they are down by just a point with 3:17 remaining here in the first. So Scott Gillen will tee it up for the Norsemen at the 40-yard line. And 2 very dangerous return men back deep for the Patriots inside the 10. It's Romeo and Van Penen.
You know, it's ironic, a very conservative offensive play, really. Yeah, short, little swing pass to the left, and it turns out to generate into a 65-yard fumble return for Goulad for 6.
So Gillen has it teed up and ready to go with Demarest right back in the game. Gillen gives it a line drive kick that will bounce out of bounds. Flag thrown. And let's see what Wayne Hills elects to do. They could take it out at the 35 or have Demarest re-kick. And I think the Patriots are going to have Demarest re-kick the football.
Well, Wayne Hills likes that good field position. They started
keep doing 5
from their 40 to the first series, and then at the
we got a few
Demarest
more years after that.
territory, the second series, they want better field position than the 35. They feel they can get it here. We'll see.
You might have heard our referee Tony Mariconda talking to the players a little bit. Gillen tried to subconsciously tried to tee it up again at the 40-yard line. The official said, no, 5 yards back.
No.
So he'll kick from the 35-yard line. You figure with any kind of a decent run back here, Patriots should have excellent field position. So Gillen to kick off. And it's a high but short kick.
taken by Van Penen, 15-yard line, 20, 25, and he's still on his feet. Namsell finally gets him and takes him down at about the 32 or 33.
So they missed it by a couple of yards, getting back to where they would have had with a penalty. But hey, what the heck?
So Wayne Hills will put it in play, and they moved the ball nicely on their first offensive drive. Demarest really unable to stop the Patriots on that first drive, as Van Penen had some huge chunks of yardage, and then of course the touchdown pass from Peichel to Romeo.
Well, you look at Van Penen's numbers, 11 carries, 144 yards, 4 touchdowns against Indian Hills, 9 carries, 75 yards for 2 TDs against Fairlawn.
Third down and 10. Handoff, Van Penen. Oh, making some nice moves. And then Amsel really gives him a shot. Takes him down at the 45. And there's a Demarest player shaken up on the play. But bouncing back up is Jesse Guzman.
You know, I don't get caught up too much in combine 40-yard dash times, because if you can accelerate like Van Penen does, once he gets the football, I don't care what your 40 time is, because this kid can really scoot once he gets across the line of scrimmage. And that time a 9-yard pickup. Impressive run right up the gut by Van Penen.
Under 2:20 remaining. And a handoff goes off tackle. Van Penen gets to the corner. 50, 40, and driven out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. And now a late flag on the play. Let's see what that flag is.
Behind the play, 72, blocking the back above the waist. Yes, wait.
No way. You heard what it was.
Okay.
And you hear the Wayne Hills coaching staff saying, no way. It's going to go against the Patriots, and it's going to drive them back and wipe out this play.
Well,
there it is, a block in the back. Chris Olson disagrees with the call.
one of the Wayne Hills tackles called for that.
So it pushes the ball back to the 49-yard line. Still first down for Wayne Hills. 2:15 remaining here in this first quarter. 2:16 to be precise.
Well, the Wayne Hills right now having their way at the line of scrimmage, opening up huge holes for Van Penen.
Romeo goes wide to the left. He now goes in motion as the Patriots run out of the eye. Van Penen, huge hole. This time he's hit and still manages to pick up about 4 or 5 yards on the play. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, Stephen. Kept his feet going. Keith Esposito was the first man to hit him, number 4, and he just kept plugging away.
Dragged Esposito and Anthony Lemus, the 6'1", 281-pound defensive lineman. Demarest has some size in the trenches with Lemus. And also Chris Dickerson, who's a nice 1AA prospect, 6'3", 282 at defensive end.
So the ball at the 45-yard line, second down and about 6. And Van Penen hit and dropped. This time a short pickup, maybe a yard on the play. As Demarest got penetration that time, it was big number 56, Chris Dickerson, the 6'3", 282-pound senior.
He's a good lineman. Dickerson not only attracting 1AA schools, but Temple University has also expressed interest in him. He's an excellent prospect, and if Demarest can find some way to get across and nullify that Wayne Hills offensive line like they did in these last 2 plays, they might be into something here defensively.
Third down and about 5 or 6 as you see Dickerson lining up on the line of scrimmage. Football sits at the 44. Inside a minute left in the first. Peichel in trouble. Dumps it off on a screen. Van Penen has a wall of blockers, and he picks up the first down as it gets inside the 40 and down to about the 37. Well-conceived, well-executed play by the Patriots.
Yeah, we've spoken about how impressed Chris Olson has been with Peichel at quarterback. And here's a kid who paid his dues in the system, working behind Nick Warzel last year, first-year senior. There you saw his composure and patience. Had a pretty strong rush, takes his time, fires out the short screen. We'll take a look again. Now, Peichel knows that he's got his man out there, and there's Van Penen with a good couple of linemen out in front to make this a long gainer and also a first down. Good job out in front there by Matty Johnson, one of the offensive tackles.
Back to the action. Van Penen was on his way. He actually ran into his own man the tight end, John Ein. Otherwise, he might have gone. Picked up 9 on the play. Down to the 27.
Well, Wayne Hills is saying, hey, until you stop me, we're going to keep running you up the gut here because they're mixing an occasional play-action pass, but they're running on him right now.
Van Penen up the middle, breaks it off tackle, and bangs inside the 15-yard line. And he is picking up huge chunks of yardage on every play. That's a first down at the 12-yard line.
Wouldn't take him long to get back in the red zone.
And that is the end of the first quarter. So one quarter in the books here at Wayne Hills. An exciting game so far. The Patriots leading Demarest by the score of 7-6 on Cablevision Sports.
Lou Brogno here for the New Jersey Challenge. Invitations to participate in the challenge have been sent to all high school principals in our News 12 area. If you feel you haven't received an application, call this hotline number, 877-328-9271 for more information. If you have already reviewed your materials and are putting off sending in your registration, remember the deadline is October 3rd. Only 32 schools will get to play, and only one will have the chance to win $10,000 for their school. See you on the challenge.
During this school year, the members of the Bergen County Education Association are continuing to provide excellence in public education. In Bergen County, we educate everyone, preparing our students for the future by opening their minds today through quality education in the arts, sciences, and mathematics. 9 out of 10 Bergen County students continue on to higher education. There is no limit to what or when you can learn. Our Bergen County Public Schools work because the Bergen County school employees work with you.
Welcome back to Wayne Hills. There's a look at Chris Olson, head coach of the Patriots, and his team driving here as we begin quarter number 2. Patriots will move right to left on your screen. They have a 1st and 10 at the 12. Handoff Van Penen. Another big hole, but this time Demarest slides over, and it looks like there's what is going on at the bottom of that pile? Looked like they were trying to wrestle the ball away. Van Penen kept moving his feet, and all of a sudden, the Norseman came flying in. A short pickup on the play, maybe 3 yards as he gets down to the 10. It'll be 2nd and 7. You know, the thing about Van Penen is, looks like he stopped at the line of scrimmage and he picks up nothing. Next thing you know, he's got 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, he's very tough to bring down. He keeps those legs churning. And right now, we'll see. It could be an interesting call here. I would say they'll probably stick with their bread and butter, but we'll see what Chris Olson has up his sleeve.
2nd down and call it about 8 from the 10. Van Penen slides inside and then is hit and dropped down at the 5. Looked like he might be on his way, but he was hit at the last moment and driven down.
Goulart in there on the tackle, along with Dean Callis, who's back from injury, one of the linebackers, and going off the right tackle with Van Penen. It's a good play for about 5 yards. You see Goulart coming up to make a nice hit to prevent Van Penen from going forward. A good fundamental tackle by Goulart.
So now a key play here. 3rd down and 3 from the 5. Van Penen trying to slide outside, and he breaks one tackle and then gets down to about the 2 or 3. He was hit originally by Howard Rim behind the line of scrimmage, but he just could not hang on, and Dickerson made the stop. So it's a 4th and 1. Huge play coming up here now in the early portion of the second quarter.
Yeah, real big play. They can get a first down and not score, but Howard Rim, who's their leading tackler with 32 tackles coming in, really started that play to help Dickerson clean up. Nice job by Rim, the middle linebacker.
Line of scrimmage is the 3. Patriots need to get to the 2 to get a first down. It's 4th down and 1 from the 3. And whistles and penalty flags. And let's see what this call is. If it's against Wayne Hills, it could be significant.
Get encroachment.
But it's against
defense.
Demarest. Oh. half the distance to the goal. And it's a first down. Demarest gives Wayne Hills a first down.
Defense.
Wow. That could be a very costly penalty.
Scott Rubinetti he's speechless at this point. It's just, what are you going to do? You stop them and then you commit a penalty like that.
So it is first and goal from the 2. Handoff, Van Peenan puts his head down, hit behind the line of scrimmage, keeps his feet moving. Did he get in? No signal from the officials. They're signaling second down. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage. Was Van Peenan by Danny Yee.
Yeah, Yee really had him wrapped around, but Van Peenan kept moving. Almost looked like he might have rolled into the end zone.
The football is, the nose of the football almost touching the goal line. It'll be second down and goal from about a foot away.
Well, Demarest has definitely turned up the defense here in the red zone, but this is going to be difficult to keep the Patriots out here.
Van Peenan off right tackle, it in, touchdown, Wayne Hills. Well, that time the right side of the offensive line. Stolupi and Ogden, a great hole. Van Peenan just went behind those big guys and dove into the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, Van Peenan's been a workhorse back, and his offensive line has done the job here in the first half. For a little bit of a break with that encroachment penalty against Demarest, but Wayne Hill's been moving the football with efficiency.
So Scott Schultz is in to kick the extra point. And the snap, good. The kick is on its way, and it is good. 8:42 remaining second quarter. Wayne Hills 14 and Demarest 6. So 2 very successful drives for the Patriots, capped off by a 2-yard touchdown run by that man.
Van Peenan off the right side. This basic gut check football. They're right down there by the goal line, and Van Peenan finishes. Impressive drive led by Van Peenan, number 21, the outstanding junior back. 10 touchdowns on the year now for Van Peenan, which leads the Bergen record area.
Well, this Wayne Hills offense has really had it cranked up early on in the season. They average 320 yards total offense per game. So, I mean, they have been moving the football.
They really have, and they've been impressive. Demarest showed a little bit of a defensive resistance in the red zone, but Wayne Hill's just been really moving that football here in the first half.
Schultz the kick. It's a short kick taken by Goulad. Can't find the handle now. Picks it up 15-yard line. Then cuts it outside. He's at the 40 to the 45, the 50, and brought down in Wayne Hills territory inside the 40-yard line.
Such a dangerous player, Goulad, who has had some big numbers on returns already this year. And that time, sometimes when you fumble the ball, it just throws the coverage off totally. You overextend yourself on the play. Your pursuit is deep, and that time Goulad, we'll see, he has great speed and he reads his blockers extremely well. Here's Goulad, trouble picking it up, but your coverage has already come down the field and gone past him. A couple of good blocks out in front, and Goulad, who had a couple of punt returns for a touchdown against Bergenfield, one of which was called back. You see his ability in a kick return right there.
First and 10. Weiss flips outside. Amsel gets a block on the corner and turns the corner. Kenny Amsel up the sideline. Makes a great cut at the 10. He's in. Touchdown, Demarest.
Wow, Lou, we got ourselves a football game here. And their 2 stars, Goulad and Amsel, back-to-back plays.
Kenny Amsel gets to the corner and made a beautiful cut to take it to the house. And with 8:19 remaining here in the second, you can see the Demarest fans pretty happy about things.
They're getting on a call home and talk about that touchdown by number one. She's got the number one on her jersey. Might be a family member.
That's exactly right.
Well, they compare him to, and I hate to do this, but the Brian Toll, also a number one at Don Bosco now at Boston College. Kenny Amsel is, establishing a name for himself in Bergen County. That was an impressive run.
It is 14-12, and the Norsemen, trailing by 2, will go for 2. So they'll line up for a 2-point conversion with twin receivers to the right side. And Harrison Weiss looking to throw, fires, and it's caught, but short of the end zone. Goulad made the catch, but at the 2-yard line. And so the 2-point conversion fails. And with 8:19 remaining in the second, it's now Wayne Hills 14, Demarest 12.
One of the great things here, Lou, in less than half a minute, Demarest responds to what Wayne Hills did in taking that 14-6 lead. Goulad with a kick return, and then Kenny Amsel. And this young man, we talked about his combination of power and speed, takes the pitch, sweeping left, and once he gets that corner, he is on his way. Kenny Amsel makes a nice cutback at about the 8-yard line into the end zone. 38-yard touchdown run. Kenny Amsel had a 44-yard run from scrimmage earlier in the season for a score. A young man who can do it on short yardage, or we saw there from 38 yards out.
So there is Amsel on the far sideline.
Amsel against Fairlawn, who had a 65-yard run from scrimmage. And a 1-yard run. So, as we say, he could be a power back and he could be a speed back. He's a good football player.
It's been quite a first half here. Wayne Hills has moved the ball nicely. Each time they've had the ball, as you take a look at Scott Rubinetti. But it's been the big plays by Demarest, the fumble return for the touchdown, and then the long kickoff return, followed by the run to the corner by Amsel, which have kept the Norsemen in the game. High end-over-end kick. Taken at the 10-yard line. Here's Van Peenan. He gets outside and gets across the 30-yard line to the 35 or so. Kickoff returns have been an adventure here in this game so far.
They sure have. We saw the ability of Goulad after fumbling and returning the kickoff all the way down to the Wayne Hills 38 to precede the Amsel TD run. And right there, Van Peenan with his burst of speed. And Wayne Hills has got to feel pretty good about their offensive game so far, except for a fumble return for a score and a kickoff return setting up a touchdown moments ago. They've moved the football.
So it is 1st and 10, just shy of the 34. Here's the pitch to Van Peenan. He gets outside at the 50, to the 40, cuts it back inside, runs away from one tackler, now breaks to the inside, and is down to the 10-yard line. A spectacular run by Ray Van Peenan. And are we seeing fireworks here in this first half?
Yeah, you talk about a young man who can take off 55-yard run from scrimmage. His cutback ability is just impressive. And once he got that off to the left side for that sweep left, he was just on his way. Demarest somehow recovering to prevent a touchdown, at least momentarily. But here's Wayne Hills knocking on the door again.
Romeo goes wide to the right, and Zach Mink is wide left. Fake the handoff to Van Peenan. Peischel on the roll, flips it outside, caught by the fullback. Scott Schultz, and he dives in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. And that's his 3rd touchdown reception of the year, and his 4th reception overall. You talk about a high percentage. 4 receptions, 3 touchdowns.
As he puts on his kicking shoe, the multifaceted Schultz, who kicks and plays occasional H-back, fullback, defensive end. He does a little bit of everything. And Scott Schultz getting in the scorebook, 6'4", 245, and he's athletic.
So Wayne Hills comes right back and puts a touchdown on the board. Snap, good. Kick on the way, and it is good. 7:37 remaining in the second. Wayne Hills 21, Demarest 12.
Well, Wayne Hills is really mixing up the short passing game of the running of Van Penen. And Peischel with play action once again. Has it all set up. Nice rollout. And finds Schultz coming out of the backfield. And Schultz diving towards the pylon for the touchdown. Very impressive short passing game for Wayne Hills. And there's Schultz. Very busy man on the field tonight. His kickoffs have been really superb. He put one back to the goal line. This will be his fourth kickoff of the first half.
Well, if you like offense, you like this game. There's been a lot of it here in this first half. So now, Demarest has to answer the bell. They've got to buckle their chin straps a little tighter. Down by 9 points now, 21-12. And they need a good run back. They have just the guys who can do it. Goulad and Amsel are back inside the 5-yard line.
Now, these two young men in deep on kick return are awfully dangerous, as we saw earlier with Goulad.
Schultz kicks it off. High kick that Goulad will take at the 5. He's to the 10, to the 15, the 20, and this time Wayne Hills hems him in at the 25-yard line. So good coverage that time by the Patriots.
Alex Gibson, number 32. Senior, 5'11", 215. Nice to see a young man, veteran, get some a big hit on specials.
So from the 25-yard line, Harrison Weiss, the junior quarterback for Demarest, gets the call and breaks the huddle. As you see, Mike Goulad split out to the right side. I formation behind Weiss. Hands it to Amsel, gets to the corner, gets a block, puts his head down, and picks up a first down across the 35-yard line.
Well, the last two plays from scrimmage, one for a touchdown and this one for Amsel for a first down. And there's some nice blocking out in front.
I can't see, my shit keep fogging up, man.
So the Norsemen had the football at their own 37-yard line. Approaching 7 minutes remaining first half. And Wayne Hills has a 21-12 lead. And off Amsel. This time he runs into traffic and will pick up maybe a yard on the play. Not much there this time. Paul Jung in the middle. Dave Ogden as well for the Patriots.
Yeah, Ogden and John have both had great penetration. And Demarest has got to be patient. They're starting to find some seams in the Wayne Hills defense. The Wayne Hills right now has won the game in the trenches in the first half.
So second down and about 9. Out of the eye this time, the Norsemen line up. And Weiss is straight back to throw. Has protection, fires outside, it's caught. Goulad makes the catch across the 50-yard line and then is driven out of bounds in Wayne Hills territory inside the 45. And Goulad really took a shot on the Wayne Hills sideline. He is slow to get up. Now seems to be okay.
He's a tough young man. People remember last year his brother Richie, who was a tremendous receiver on the Demarest team that went to the state playoff final. And taking a look at Mike. Harrison Weiss, 3-step drop. And Goulad made a nice move on the sideline to pick up some big yardage.
1st and 10 at the 44. The pitch to Amsel, cuts it inside and puts his head down, picks up a couple as he gets down near the 42-yard line. This is what Demarest wants to do, as they want to control the ball, control the clock. They want to keep that Wayne Hills offense off of the field.
Yeah, look at what Wayne Hills has done. 3 touchdowns the other time they were driving, and then a fumble and a return for a score for Demarest. They moved the ball each time they've had it in Wayne Hills, so Demarest certainly wants to keep their offense on the field.
5:35 counting down, first half. Harrison Weiss out of the shotgun. He's got no one open, but he throws it. Actually, for a moment, he had no one open, and then Gillen became open. He made a move, but the pass was a little bit too high. So now a key play here for Demarest. Third down and about 8 from the 42. And the Norsemen want to keep this drive alive. Again, they don't want to give the ball back to that potent Patriot offense. Weiss straight back to throw. Has time, now sets up a screen, flips it out. Amsel makes the catch and gets a block on the corner and picks up the first down. And a very good job by the Demarest blocker, because he was behind the Wayne Hills defender, but turned his body to make sure that he didn't deliver the block in the back. It was close, but it looked like he got him on the side.
Smart play, and also Demarest utilizing a secondary receiver here. A lot of attention being played to Goulad down the field with double coverage, and they go instead to Amsel, the up receiver on the left, coming out of backfield. No, you're right, nice avoiding of a block behind, and Amsel comes up as Chris Colsar
on the block.
Did a nice job at tight end.
Yeah, did a good job of not picking up a penalty on that block, as Amsel takes the handoff and picks up maybe a yard. And as we tick down towards 5 minutes left, Demarest on a bit of a drive as they have moved it to the Wayne Hills 32-yard line.
I think that Demarest got to feel pretty good about themselves moving here. They've given up 3 scores to Wayne Hills. Another time, who knows what would have happened if Wayne Hills hadn't fumbled. And you're only down 21-12, and if you control the ball, perhaps punch one over, you'll be in real good shape.
Scott Gillen goes wide left, and Goulad is wide to the right. Weiss back to throw, delivers high, intended for his tight end, Chris Colsar. But that one overthrown, and it brings up a 2nd and 10. Actually, it should be 3rd and 10.
Scott Rubinetti played under Rick Giancola at Montclair State University. There you see Scott, who is, not physically imposing to look at. He was a place kicker, so you have a player down, number 33, Jesse Guzman. And Scott kicked for Giancola and company at MSU. His brother John was a soccer player at Montclair State. And Scott loves what he does with this program. He's done a great job resurrecting it in the last 4 years.
Well, we have an injury timeout. And coming up, the New Jersey Challenge. It's a new type of challenge that's coming to high schools in New Jersey. It's on television. The Excitement and Glory competition has historically been reserved to the high school athlete. But here at Cablevision, we realize that shouldn't be the case. It's time that our high school academic competitors receive their fair share of glory. And applications to participate have been sent to all high school principals. If you haven't heard about it, check it out at the Power to Learn website at www.powertolearn.com. And if you feel you haven't received an application, call this hotline number, 877-328-9271, for more information. Now, if you've already reviewed your materials and are putting off sending in your registration, remember the deadline is October 3rd. So if it's you're watching this game after October 3rd, it is too late. Only 32 schools will get to play, and only one school will have the chance to win $10,000 for their school. So what are you waiting for? The New Jersey Challenge begins airing November 19th on News 12, New Jersey. And they are still attending to Jesse Guzman. And head coach Scott Rubinetti with a big smile there. Kind of makes you think that Guzman's going to be okay. So the clock stopped momentarily with 4:29 remaining, and Guzman's up and heading towards the sideline. And Demarest will have a 3rd down and 10 when they snap the football next.
Demarest has had a history of great offensive players. Go back to Alex Hayden in 88 to 90. He led the 1990 team to 11-0 record in a Group 3 championship, and then in 1992 with Rich Conti guiding the Norsemen. They won a state championship over Wayne Ballard. So it's good football history 10, 12 years ago, but Scott Rubinetti in the last 2 years, has really resurrected this program.
So 3rd down and 10 at the 31-yard line. Wayne Hills 21, Demarest 12 in a terrific first half between these two NBIL rivals. Rematch of last year's Section 1 Group 3 championship game. Won by Wayne Hills 17-16. Weiss rolling out. Now puts the ball down, puts his head down, and then gets out of bounds. And looks like he picked up the first down. He had to get to the 21, and he gets inside the 20 and out at the 18. Nice job by the junior quarterback, Harrison Weiss. And that's a first down for the Norsemen.
And you can see Weiss gaining confidence as this game goes on. That time a great decision not to just throw it down into coverage. Instead takes off and does a job of getting in the red zone and picking up a first down for the Demarest Norsemen.
So at the 18-yard line, it's 1st and 10, Demarest, with 4:20 remaining here in the first half. Scott Gillen is wide to the left, and Goulad now goes in motion. Here's the pitch to Amsel. Gets a good block on the corner, a nice cut, and he's in. Touchdown, but there's a penalty flag down. There's a flag down at the 1-yard line, and that might wipe this out.
What a tremendous job by Amsel. We'll wait for the call.
Nope, it's a touchdown. Personal foul, grabbing the face mask against Wayne Hills. So it is a touchdown for Kenny Amsel. Another marvelous run. And Demarest is right back at it. It's 21-18.
Well, Kenny Amsel, 38 yards, now 18 for the score. And Demarest gaining confidence offensively. As we said, they kept their offense on the field for quite a while to keep that Wayne Hills offense off. And right now they're right back in this football game.
And they will go for 2. So it's a full house backfield behind Harrison Weiss, looking for the 2-point conversion. Here's the handoff to Amsel, and he's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Scott Schultz on a nice defensive play, got penetration, and that thwarts the 2-point conversion try.
Kenny Amsel, one of the great backs in the NBIL and also in North Jersey, takes the pitch from Weiss. Good block on the outside, cutback ability, and right to the end zone. We'll take another look at it from behind. Nice pitch. Nice decision making. Nice deception by Weiss on the pitch. And Amsel put on those afterburners and headed in for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
You saw that face mask, Steve, right at the tail end of the play. And that, of course, was the penalty. But Demarest right back at it.
Danny Yee, number 71, with a nice block, helping spring Amsel once he got into the secondary.
So with 4:12 remaining here in the second quarter, it's Wayne Hills 21 and Demarest 18. So the Norsemen of Northern Valley Demarest have come here to Wayne Hills. They're playing a heck of a first half. Both teams playing outstanding ball. Wayne Hills offensively just tremendous. And there is Amsel. He has answered the bell after Van Penen was lighting things up early.
And you can see why Albany, Fordham, Sacred Heart, Marist, Trinity, they all would love this young man, Kenny Amsel, who has really become the showcase performer for Demarest this year in his senior season after playing for that state finals team a year ago.
Kickoff by Gillen. Van Penen at the 5, the 10, gets outside, still on his feet, and pushes the pile up near the 35. Wayne Hills will put it in play there with a 3-point lead. They're up 21-18.
Well, one thing Wayne Hills has done, they've either scored on every drive or they fumbled. They have 3 touchdowns to date. There's been nothing really you can say negative about how the Wayne Hills offense has moved the ball, and yet they only lead by 3 points.
Well, they come up to the line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line. Here's the flip to Van Penen. He's got blockers in front, and he does get outside and puts his head down, picks up a first down, and then a late flag after Van Penen had picked up first down yardage across the 45.
See if they get Demarest for a late hit.
No, the personal foul is against Wayne Hills.
Wow.
So that'll back the Patriots up.
There was some action at the end of that play on the sideline. It was hard to pick up exactly what had happened.
Offense.
Back at the 33-yard line.
Referee Tony Maricondo, though, making the call there. Goldie, one of the assistant coaches with a headset for Wayne Hills. Our friends from the Wayne Hills coaching staff.
So it is a 1st and 10 for the Patriots at the 33-yard line. Twin receivers go right side. Now Van Penen, who lined up as a receiver, goes in motion. Heischel to throw, flips over the middle. Van Penen makes the catch at the 50, breaks a tackle, and then a shoestring tackle as he is taken down by Dean Callis at the 40-yard line, but not before Van Penen picks up huge yardage.
Well, Van Penen, not only as a runner, but as a receiver, was awfully dangerous, doubly dangerous out of that backfield. We've seen Wayne Hills, Schultz for the touchdown, and now Van Penen coming out of the backfield for a first down.
Here's a flip to Van Penen again. Breaks one tackle, and he's not going to get away this time. As Demarest strung the play out beautifully, Chris Dickerson was the man who made the play at the line of scrimmage. So no gain on the play, a second down and maybe a half a yard. Second down and 9 coming up.
Chris Dickerson at 6'3", 282 can really move along that line of scrimmage. Good pursuit on that play.
Well, less than 3 minutes remaining here in the first half. He faked the pitch. Heischel in trouble, lets it fly, and it's incomplete. That time, Demarest came with a little bit of a blitz from the free safety, Jimmy McAgna. And then that forced Heischel to throw that ball a little bit earlier than he wanted to.
He was looking for Nick Romeo down the field. Romeo lost his footing. Here's Chris Olson coming out in the field with a timeout.
So a timeout on the field with 2:44 remaining here in the second quarter. 21-18. This is a typical Wayne Hills Demarest game. Last year it was 17-16 in the championship, 16-10 in the regular season. These two teams have had great games over the last couple of years. And let's take a look at some of that action from 2004. Starting with the regular season game, Steve, played at Demarest. This was the 16-10 Demarest win, and there's an interception there by Kyle Cavanaugh. He takes it all the way in for Wayne Hills. And Wayne Hills was up early in that game, but then one of the key plays in the contest, well, actually, Demarest gets another touchdown here, fired in by Vinny Esposito. But this interception here was huge as Richie Goulad picked it off and took it all the way for the Norsemen. And Demarest went on to beat Wayne Hills 16-10, and that really set the stage for what would happen later on, and that was the Group 3 championship game right here. And here's Heischel looking to throw, flips it, incomplete. Well, we'll take a look at that Group 3 championship game a little bit later on, but you saw that regular season game was so impressive. 16-10, Demarest winning that game. Of course, the interception return, the key play there by Goulad.
You see Richie Goulad with that pick. He reminds me of Mike in the open field, who resembles his little brother now starring for Demarest.
That's in the genes, huh? No question. So here is a fourth down, and for the first time tonight, Wayne Hills will punt. Van Penen in punt formation. From midfield, it's a line drive, end-over-end kick that might have hit. It looked like it hit one of the Demarest players, but no call made by the officials, so obviously not. And Demarest will have the football deep in their own territory with just 2.5 remaining. And this copyrighted telecast is produced by authority of CSC Holdings Incorporated and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of CSC Holdings Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Well, I think if Demarest can just take care of this football, they'll feel pretty good about themselves, even if they go in the locker room down 3 at halftime.
1st and 10. Wayne Hills will try to put the hammer down here. And if you're Demarest, you don't want to make a mistake here. Goulad trying to get outside, and Wayne Hills, knowing that Demarest is going to run the ball here all over them on the line of scrimmage. And Wayne Hills may burn a timeout here, knowing that the Patriots, if they can hold them down here, Steve, can get the ball back in pretty good field position.
Yeah, they want to force them to punt, obviously, and try to get in a real good field position, maybe for a Schultz field goal attempt before the first half ends. I got to be impressed with Demarest's resiliency here, because Wayne Hills, except for that series, has moved the ball up and down the field. And with 2:20 left, they're only up 21-18. So plenty of football left. And Demarest, if they can recoup, they have to find a way to stop Wayne Hills, because it's been difficult for them. But maybe they gained a little bit of a second win because of Kenny Amsell.
Well, there last year, there's that championship game. And there you see Goulad on the long touchdown pass for Demarest. But Wayne Hills came right back as Wurzel went upstairs and finds, you guessed it, Van Peenan. He makes the catch, and he is gone. Look at that speed, only as a sophomore a year ago. And Wayne Hills won the championship 17-16.
Well, Chris Olson, who has just had some career here at Wayne Hills, has got another good ball club on the Tundra again. There's a nice hole off the right side for Amsell. It gets him out of a little bit of danger there in terms of the yard marker. Amsell really went off the right side and picked some good, nice blocks from his wide receiver.
Kenny Amsell on the carry.
I think Goulad was providing a nice block on the outside to pinch out one of those ends. You got to feel better now. You're snapping closer to you're here at the 18-yard line and being all the way back inside your 10.
1st and 10 for Demarest. Excuse me, folks. Have a little bit of a cold broadcasting this game, so lost my voice momentarily. But here's Harrison Weiss looking to throw. Still trying to get away, now in trouble. He's running back towards his goal line, gets a good block, lets it fly, and it's nearly intercepted. Did they get it in bounds? That's the question. Wayne Hill says yes, and they do. An interception, and that's a critical mistake. Because Wayne Hills now will have the football with a minute 23 remaining, deep in Demarest territory.
Looked like Zach Mink, number 11, right along the sideline. Weiss would have been much better off just throwing this ball out of bounds towards that. Then you see him under immense pressure. Back to his goal line. The fire is just too low. That's just a young mistake. The triple coverage on the sideline, number 11, Mink, coming in to make the pick. And this dangerous because still there are 83 seconds left in this first half. Plenty of time, certainly, to get into field goal range.
And here's the man who intercepted the pass, Zach Mink. Wayne Hills now can strike as they have a 21-18 lead. Out of the shotgun, Peischel gonna run some option, flips it on a reverse to Romeo. He's got a head of steam up the sidelines and then driven out of bounds inside the 20-yard line down to the 16. Good call by the Patriots, and it stops the clock with 1:16 remaining in the first half.
Well, this could come out to really haunt Demarest if Wayne Hills punches one over here. Still plenty of time left.
Mink and Romeo go wide to the right. Again, Peischel out of the shotgun, going to run the option, keeps it himself, and he will go down inside the 15-yard line, down to about the 14 or so, and the Patriots call a timeout. They'll stop the clock with with 1:09 remaining and a 2nd down and 8 coming up.
I believe Wayne Hills is out of timeouts now. So it's going to be important where they manage the clock here for Chris Olson and company.
So Chris Olson talking it over with his offense, which has been very potent here in this first half.
What a change of momentum, though. If Wayne Hills is able to get one over here, either for 6 points, certainly for 6, if not a field goal before the half, get some extra energy going in the locker room.
And on the other side for the Norsemen of Demarest, look at Scott Rubinetti. He's saying, ay, ay, ay. You can't give the ball up like that against a team like Wayne Hills. And that is really the bugaboo that killed them in the Ramapo game. It was 9-0 at half. Demarest was trailing a very, very good Ramapo team, and turnovers killed the Norsemen in the second half. 21-18 here. And out of the shotgun on 2nd down and 8, Peichel looking to throw, has plenty of time, pump fakes, goes, end zone, Romeo, incomplete. Covered by Scott Gillen, pretty good coverage by the senior corner.
Does stop the clock. Pretty well thrown ball by Peichel. Romeo well covered. Nice job back there by Scotty Gillen. And here Chris Olson again with Peichel.
So the clock does stop with 1:03 remaining. And a 3rd down and 8 coming up for the Patriots as Mike Peichel, the senior quarterback, gets the call from the sidelines and brings it into the huddle. Mink and Romeo are wide to the right. Here's Peichel looking to throw, firing end zone. Romeo makes the catch. He is not in as he makes the catch at about the 2-yard line, but it is good for a Wayne Hills first down. They'll have a 1st and goal inside the 2.
Peichel very comfortable in that short passing game. Little 3-step drop, and Romeo is a great primary receiver, showing good hands to grab that ball and set up here a 1st and goal with the clock moving, Lou.
Handoff, Van Peenan, he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. So the Patriots take advantage of the turnover, and they cash in with a touchdown run of 2 yards by Van Peenan. Schultz is in to kick the extra point. With just 42 seconds remaining in the second quarter. The scoreboard has been lit up here at Wayne Hills High School. Snap good, kick on the way. It is good. So a break in the action with 42 seconds left. It's Wayne Hills 28 and Demarest 18.
Taking a look at the power game of Van Peenan. We've seen him break plays. We can see him bull forward as he does there into the end zone for the touchdown. Now with 11 touchdowns on the season, 2 here today.
It's interesting to see Wayne Hills' strategy here with 42 seconds left. You don't want to risk a huge run back by either Amsel or Goulad. See if they maybe pooch kick it or keep it on the ground somewhat so that Demarest doesn't get that big run back. Here's Chris Olson.
But what a change, though. I mean, instead of being a 3-point game going to the locker room, it's now a 10-point advantage for Wayne Hills. The momentum that Demarest had is kind of snuffed out there by the pick by Mink, and then a nice short drive downfield engineered by Peichel, the quarterback, and Van Peenan to finish.
Schultz, line drive, end-over-end kick, taken at the 10-yard line by Amsel. Kenny Amsel gets outside, then cuts it back in and takes it across the 35. So Demarest will have it with 33 seconds remaining here in the first half. They're down by 10 points, 28-18. There's Kenny Amsel.
Well, the one thing we know, Lou, at any point with the breakaway speed of Amsel and Mike Goulad, that Demarest can break a run, a pass reception, or on a special teams return at any time. So they're still very much in this football game.
So 1st and 10 from the 36. Weiss fakes the handoff, play action, delivers, it's intercepted. Picked off by Mink at the 45, at the 50-yard line, the 45, and then he is spun out of bounds in Demarest territory at the 40. And Wayne Hills is set up again with 19 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, not a great decision thrown into that deep secondary. You know, there's really no one down there. Good coverage. There's no one down there. Mink positioned well for his second interception of the day. And Wayne Hills now, if they can run a couple of pass plays, they could perhaps get the ball out of bounds, maybe set up Schultz for a long field goal attempt.
Twin receivers go to the right side, and Peischel, quick drop, flips to Romeo, makes the catch across the 30, and then he's brought down there. They may have to measure to see if they brought up a first down, but Wayne Hills takes a timeout, stops the clock just in case with 10 seconds left.
All right, there's their last timeout then.
It's very close to first down yardage, and officials may call for an official measurement to see if they got it. Regardless, with 10 seconds left, you got to figure that Wayne Hills will try to go towards the end zone. If you're thinking field goal, I mean, you'd be looking at a 45-yard field goal from this point. So,
yeah, I mean, I'd give it a shot, but then again,
so the Patriots talk it over, decide what they want to do. They have a 10-point lead, and they'd love to just put a few extra points on the board before they head into the locker room. So Demarest very much in this football game at 21-18, but the Norsemen have hurt themselves with turnovers here in the last few minutes of the second quarter.
well, they had some special teams problems against Fairlawn. Had a punt blocked, return for a touchdown last week, another punt misplay, and today we've seen a couple of interceptions.
So twin receivers go to the right. And Peischel out of the shotgun will look to let it fly long. He's going end zone, looking for Romeo, and it's knocked away and incomplete. And there's still 3 seconds left on the clock, so Wayne Hills is going to get one more play.
Here comes Schultz with getting ready for a field goal attempt here.
Line of scrimmage is the 28. And they'll place the ball down at the 35. So it is a 45-yard field goal attempt for Scott Schultz. And in high school football, this is a long field goal, folks. Let's see if Schultz has the leg. That's the view from the end zone. Good snap. Kick is on the way. It's got the distance, and it's no good. Wide to the left. He had the leg, but it just went wide to the left. So the first half comes to an end, an exciting first half of football. Your score at halftime: Wayne Hills 28, Demarest 18, and we'll be back with second half action in just a few moments.
How was school today? How was school today?
Session go all right? You have a good session?
Want to go to the game with me? I got tickets to the game.
Talk with the kids in your life about drugs and alcohol. And if they're in treatment or recovery, support them, even if you have to practice.
I am so proud of you.
For drug and alcohol information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Lou Brogno here for the New Jersey Challenge. Invitations to participate in the challenge have been sent to all high school principals in our News 12 area. If you feel you haven't received an application, call this hotline number, 877-328-9271 for more information. If you have already reviewed your materials and are putting off sending in your registration, remember the deadline is October 3rd. Only 32 schools will get to play, and only one will have the chance to win $10,000 for their school. See you on the challenge.
Welcome back to Wayne Hills, where the Patriots lead Demarest by the score of 28-18 as we get ready for second half action. Lou Brogno along with Steve Tober. An exciting first half of football, Steve.
Yeah, and Wayne Hills' offense moving with precision, scoring on 3 of the first 4 possessions they had. Here's Mike Peischel, the outstanding play-action quarterback, and Nick Romeo, we know he has great hands, so he's going to reach up and grab this one in front of a defender for the touchdown, 21-yard TD, 7-0 Wayne Hills with 6:51 left in the first, but little swing pass to the left, and Peenan for Wayne Hills loses the handle, and Mike Goulad is going to scoop this one up. And Goulad gets into the secondary, and he is off to the races. 70-yard return on the fumble return. And just like that, Demarest is pulled within 7-6 with 3:17 to go in the first quarter. Peischel again with a great play action. This will put them up 21-12. Scott Schultz, the fullback, 235 pounds, dives into the end zone right by the pylon. At that point, it was 21-12 Wayne Hills. And Kenny Amsell taking the pitch, going around the left side. One of his 2 touchdown runs. Nice cutback against the grain. They'll pull them within 21-18 in the second quarter. Van Peenan over from 1. That was set up by an interception by Zach Mink in the closing minute and a half of the first half. Ill-advised pass by Demarest, and a completion set up that run by Van Peenan, and so we have the 28-18 Wayne Hills lead.
There is the Norseman as Demarest will kick off to begin this second half. They trail 28-18. Critical defensive sequence coming up here for Demarest, and Chris Olson's team up by 10 already. Demarest has to stop Wayne Hills' offense on this first series here, Steve, because if Wayne Hills goes up and punches it in with a touchdown and is up 35-18, well, obviously the complexion of the game changes completely.
And Wayne Hills almost turned 2 turnovers into scores. Schultz just missing a 45-yard field goal attempt as the first half expired. Just a little bit wide left. He had plenty of leg into it. But Peischel, the quarterback for Wayne Hills, has been impressive so far. I like the way he runs the ball club. Michael Peischel, 6', 180-pound senior, number 13 there, with his coach, Chris Olson. And Wayne Hills would have probably made a score in their first 4 possessions, but of course the fumble return by Goulad to interfere in the scoring there. But they have moved the football unabated. They had the 1 punt in the second quarter, but other than that, it's just been moving the ball continuously.
So Scott Gillen will kick it off for Demarest as he tees it up at the 40-yard line. Van Peenan and Romeo back deep. Long kick. Van Peenan has trouble finding the handle inside the 5. He breaks 1 tackle, heads up the sideline, steps out of bounds, and gets across the 20-yard line. That could have been a disastrous play for Wayne Hills, but the Patriots do have the football across the 20-yard line, almost actually at the 25.
Number 54, Howard Rim.
Well, Wayne Hills was not fancy to start the first half, Lou. I don't think they'll be too fancy here. They were just not quite as good a field position as they had in the first half to start off, but the offense back on the field, which has not been a good sign for Demarest so far.
First and 10 Patriots.
So first and 10 at the 25. Zach Mink is wide to the right. Handoff though, Van Peenan hit at the line of scrimmage and driven back. So this time no hole for Ray Van Peenan as Demarest toughens up at the line of scrimmage.
Van Peenan on the carry.
He did pick up a couple. It'll be second down and 8.
And Van Peenan entering today's action, Lou, leading scorer in Passaic County, has added 2 more touchdowns, 11 touchdowns now. Rob Casanova Lakeland is the closest one to him with only 5 coming in, along with Steve Hine of Hawthorne. So Van Peenan far and away the leading scorer in Passaic County.
Out of the eye, Peischel Play action, steps up in the pocket, fires, and is it caught? No, incomplete. Big hit. Put on the tight end, John Ein, who had it and then took a shot, and that knocked the ball loose. Good defensive play from Demarest.
Yeah, taking a look at it, and Ein is a big target out there. Heischel, who's been very precise with the short passing game. You see Ein, and a great hit coming in from the side by Kenny Ansel. He does it on both sides of the ball.
Oh, you go. Ah, shit.
From his cornerback slot.
Twin receivers go right side. Now Romeo goes in motion. Out of the eye, straight back to throw. Draw play. Here's Van Penen. He's got a big hole. Picks up a first down. Penalty flag down. Van Penen across the 45 has more than first down yardage. But again, there's a flag down, and it will be holding against Wayne Hills. So that will wipe out the Ray Van Penen first down run.
Well, this could help Demarest perhaps marching Wayne Hills back. The Demarest defense with a good thrust so far here to start the third quarter. If they could stop Wayne Hills here, put themselves in a real good position to get right back in this game.
Holding, offense, third down.
So it takes the ball back to the 18-yard line. It'll be a third down and 17.
Wayne Hills, which just scored 40, 48, and 55 points in their first three games. Well on their way today with 28.
Heischel looking to throw, trying to set up a screen, lets it fly, and it's incomplete. Excellent coverage that time by Demarest. They had it figured out. Dean Callis, the linebacker, was the closest defender to the ball. And the Demarest defense comes up big, forces a fourth down, and Wayne Hills has to punt the football away.
And Lou Callis missed last week's game against Fairlawn with an injury, and Scott Rubinetti glad to have his captain and linebacker back in the game this week.
So Van Penen will kick, and Demarest figures to get good field position out of this exchange. It's a line drive kick that Goulad picks up, fumbles, and then the ball's still loose, but it looks like Demarest has recovered at the 47-yard line. They're going to say that he was down, Goulad. So almost a dangerous play there for the Norsemen, but they have very good field position to start their first drive of the second half as they are at their own 47-yard line.
Very important juncture of this second half for Demarest. You're down 10. You've got the football with great field position. You got to get something out of this drive to develop momentum here in the second half.
Twin receivers go left side, and the backs are in the eye. Here is Hampsell, slides outside, breaks one tackle across the 50, and then banged out of bounds near the 45-yard line of Wayne Hills. So Kenny Hampsell picks up good yardage, about 8 or 9 on the carry. So it'll be second down and 1 for the Norsemen.
That time the Demarest line occupying the defenders just long enough for Hampsell to read the hole and pick up some nice yardage. 9 yards on the play.
Goulad goes wide to the right, and Gillen wide left. Again out of the eye, Hampsell the carry, slides through and picks up the first down. He knew he just needed to pick up a yard, and so he slid through the right tackle hole and put his head down and dove down to the 42.
Nice job by Danny Yee, blocking up front, 5'9", 235-pound junior.
So just 2 minutes gone by here in the second half, and it's first and 10 Demarest at the Wayne Hills 43. Pitch to Hampsell, gets a block on the corner, but then is brought down. The pursuit very good for the Patriots.
Ein out there, Johnny Ein, the defensive end, was able to string that play out.
Short pickup of a yard. And a 2nd and 9 coming up for Demarest.
Yeah, we're seeing two pretty darn good backs today. Kenny Amsell for Northern Valley Regional High School, Demarest, and of course Ray Van Peenan of Wayne Hills. They put on a show here tonight.
On a 2nd down 9. Here's the throw. It's batted down and picked up by Goulart. That's an incomplete pass. Excellent play by Dave Ogden on the line of scrimmage. He got that big 6'3" frame up there and was able to bat that one down.
Yeah, we talk about Dave Ogden, who anchors the line on both sides, and he's put up some, big-time numbers in the first half, and that time batting one down. Taking a look as Weiss and Ogden getting those hands up in the air. Just deflected pass. And he makes things happen. He makes a lot of tackles behind the line. He's a sack leader. And you saw him deflecting a pass.
3rd down and 9. Trying to set up a screen. Weiss lets it fly, and it's caught. Oh, Harrison Weiss with a beautiful throw that time in the face of severe pressure. Finds the tight end, Chris Kolsar. And that's good for a Demarest 1st down.
Little mix-up on coverage there by Wayne Hills, but we see there young quarterback Harrison Weiss under pressure. This is a young man who's really developed nicely quickly. You'll see Weiss again. This time Wayne Hills
on the tackle,
totally missing the tight end right there, who's wide open. Nice placement of the ball, as you mentioned, by Weiss, with 3 defenders forming a triangle not far from number 8, Chris Kolsar, the tight end, with a big reception for the Norseman.
Mike Fulham with a big hit on Weiss. And there's a penalty against Demarest. Scott Rubinetti very upset. That's going to push the Norsemen back 5.
These kind of penalties. Remember that encroachment call in the first half, which created a 1st and goal, which would have been a 4th down and led to a Wayne Hills touchdown. Scott Rubinetti, wondering, hey, what's the explanation? We did not feel we had a 12th man on the field.
5-yard penalty.
And it pushes it back to the 27-yard line. So it's 1st and 15. 8:25 counting down in the 3rd. Weiss quick drop, flips outside. Goulart puts his head down between 2 defenders inside the 20-yard line.
Pass is complete to Goulart.
So Mike Goulart, the junior,
Nick Romeo in on the tackle for the
picks up good yardage. Romeo makes the tackle for Wayne Hills.
Just a quick opener. Take advantage of Goulart's speed in the flat. Every time Goulart touches the ball, something seems to happen as he gets inside the 20.
Now a penalty flag flies. Let's see what this one is.
Dead ball, substitute. It's 12 men in the huddle.
Now Wayne Hills gets hit with a 12 men in the huddle. So that takes it up to the 14-yard line, and a 2nd down 2 coming up for Demarest. So they get the 5 back that they lost.
And Chris Olson having a few words with one of his players there, saying, this is the point you're supposed to be on the field, or it wasn't that time.
Twin receivers go right side. One set back. That's Amsell, takes the pitch, turns the corner, and cuts outside, and then hemmed in. He's going to be close to the 1st down, but they may have to measure on this one. Only needed to pick up 2. Wayne Hills strung it out nicely.
Yeah, Amsell's had a couple of long runs on that same play on the pitch.
And he's going to be about a yard short. He only picked up 1 on that play. 3rd and 1. Obviously, it's extremely important for Demarest to punch it in here, as they are down by 10. On the 3rd and 1, Amsell takes it, and it'll be close. He just needed to get one.
He's right there.
Ogden in on the tackle.
He's got it.
Matt Johnson on the play, but he did pick up a first down. As the ball is at about the 16, actually the 11-yard line.
Lou, this Demarest team just hangs around, and right now they're knocking on the door.
1st and 10 for the Norsemen at the 11. Out of the eye, quick drop, and that's misfired and goes out of bounds. Now that could have been a lateral, and it looks like the officials will mark a loss on the play as that one was thrown back behind the line of scrimmage towards Goulad. Dangerous pass right there. That one could have been picked.
And more importantly, a loss on the play.
A loss of about 6 or so on the play.
5 yards on the play.
It's a 2nd down. And about 16 from the 17-yard line. Amstel the carry, hit and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, Wayne Hill's got penetration that time.
Ogden again with great penetration. Ogden just gets his head low in there. You see Ogden with tremendous penetration, fights off the block, and also coming in to make the hit. Great, it was Julian Signorelli, number 23. There you see Julian right there, but Ogden creating that play by a tremendous jump off the ball defensively into that backfield.
So a 3rd down and about 16. Looking for the end zone, and it's incomplete, nearly intercepted by Nick Romeo. So a 4th down play coming up, and it looks like Demarest may attempt a long field goal. Matt Giannetti is in. It would be about a 38-yard attempt. We saw Schultz try a 45-yarder in the first half. So a 38-yard field goal attempt. Snap good. Kick on the way, and it is good. Whoa, I thought it was short, but it was good. It just snuck over the crossbar. So Giannetti drills a 38-yard field goal, and that's a key 3-point kick there for Demarest, as they now are down by just 1 touchdown with 5:10 remaining in the 3rd. It's Wayne Hills 28, Demarest 21.
Well, the soccer-style Giannetti just getting enough to get it over the goalpost. And Scott Rubinetti's a former place kicker himself. He's got to like that. The head coach for Demarest used to kick field goals for Montclair State University, and he's worked well with kickers over the year. They had Seibold a couple of years ago. They made 11 field goals in 1 year for Demarest on their 2003 team. And then Mr. Giannetti getting it done with 3 points, important 3 points, because it pulls the Norsemen within 7.
So 5:10 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And we've got ourselves quite a game here between these two rivals. Demarest just keeps hanging in there, Steve.
It's amazing, Lou. They just won't go away. Wayne Hills is really dominated in terms of from plays from scrimmage. However, when Demarest has had the opportunity, they've made big plays to make it happen. Amstel with a couple of TD runs, Goulad with a fumble return, a big kick return to set up an Amstel touchdown, and here we are with a tight ball game.
So Van Penen and Romeo back deep. And they take a long kick. Van Penen at the 10-yard line, 20. And breaks the tackle, still on his feet, and then it gets across the 30. So Wayne Hills with a good starting point on this drive across the 30-yard line.
Brought down by Tom McVeigh.
Well, the Demarest defense stood tall in the last sequence. They were able to stop Wayne Hills one of the few times tonight that they've been able to put the brakes on the Patriots offense.
First and 10 Patriots on about the 33.
So from the 33, it's first and 10 for Wayne Hills. Out of the eye, Van Pena in the handoff. Huge hole up the middle, across the 40, and penalty flags fly.
Goulart on the tackle. Flag on the play.
We'll see if we get a hold against the Patriots.
And we do. Goes against Wayne Hills, so that will nullify the run.
Get it down.
Block in the back against the Patriots.
Offense, replay first down.
Well, the official calls illegal use of hands.
A 10-yard penalty.
So still first down. It's from the site of the foul. So it takes it back to the 33.
Well, the Snoresman defense, they feel they can match up size-wise. And to start the second half there, they've done a nice job defensively against the Patriots. So Chris Dickerson on the front line along with Anthony Lemus, both at 280 pounds, and trying to assert themselves against this Wayne Hills front offensive line, which has been impressive in the first 4 weeks of the year.
First and 9. It's first and 9 because remember the penalty was from the spot of the foul. Handoff Van Penen, left tackle, penalty flag thrown, and this one most likely will be holding against Wayne Hills. Where that was thrown, that's not a good sign for that Wayne Hills offensive line.
Dickerson on the tackle.
They're calling the tight end on Wayne Hills' line for the hold.
Right from flag.
So that'll back them up another 10 yards.
Illegal block in the back. Offense. Replay first down.
Illegal block in the back. You hear from our referee, Tony Mariconda. I've seen Tony out at various venues. There's a very detailed stretching routine, Tony. Tony has been around the officiating ranks for somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 years. And he's a guy who stays in shape.
First and 10 from the 24. Van Penen trying to weave his way through the defense and does a pretty good job of it. He picks up the yardage they lost on the penalty. So he gets back to about the 34-yard line.
Well, they're trying to spring Van Penen into that secondary, and right now Wayne Hill shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. But they're back pretty much where they started from with a second and 8.
And 4 minutes now left in the third quarter. Van Penen again weaving across the 40-yard line. So it'll bring up a third down.
Van Penen on the carry.
Van Penen, he finds holes where there are none.
He does that, and his offensive line has been able to really open up some nice gaps in the guard slots here tonight. And hey, Chris Olsen is really, hey, we can run the football on these guys, and he's mixed in with some nice play action from Peischel there. We'll see what kind of play he has on third and about 2.
And with 3:15 and counting. And Penen, no, Peischel keeps it himself, and he's got the first down and more. He's heading down the sidelines at the 40 to the 30. Goulart trips him up at the 20-yard line, but Peischel calls his own number, and it's a big play for Wayne Hills.
Well, you saw Chris Olsen talking to Peischel on the sideline instead of the play, and that time well conceived on the bootleg to the left. Everybody thinking Van Penen, it's been him so much. There you see the ball fake and the bootleg here by Peischel. Nice execution by the senior quarterback, and he breaks into the secondary. Maybe not a speed merchant per se, but he certainly had an impressive run there.
First and 10 from the 18. Van Penen gets the handoff and is dragged down from behind. Howard Rim, the outside linebacker, got penetration to make the play.
So a 41-yard run from scrimmage by Peischel before to set up this opportunity in the red zone for Wayne Hills.
2nd and 8 from the 17. 28-21. Wayne Hills on top. Look at the interior of that defensive line. Anthony Lemus, number 76. Here's the flip to Van Penen. Hit. And then pushes forward constantly. He's able to push forward.
Oh, man, 37 didn't make the tackle, too, did.
Now a 3rd down. And about 4 coming up for Wayne Hills at the 13-yard line.
One thing you never see from Wayne Hills is any panic. I mean, they've held a narrow lead for a good part of this second half and a good part of the second quarter, yet they stick to their game plan.
1:20 left. Handoff Van Penen. And he dives down to the 10. Fumble on the play. And Demarest has recovered.
Scotty Gillis.
So Wayne Hills drives all the way down and fumbles the ball at the 9-yard line. Demarest gets a big break and they'll take over.
Well, Wayne Hills, the fumble in the first half, leading to a Demarest return by Goulard's 70 yards for a score. And here, driving down, apparently knocking on the doorstep to score and cough up the football. Wayne Hills has moved the ball with such precision, yet they shoot themselves in the foot with turnovers.
1st and 10 at the 9. Demarest, excuse me, with 1:13 remaining. Out of the eye, Kenny Amsell. Off tackle. Across the 10, up to about the 12. And we enter the last minute of play here in the 3rd quarter.
And meanwhile, Lou, Demarest hangs around, and we're getting close to head of the 4th quarter with a 7-point ball game.
Yeah.
Down to 35 seconds left in the quarter. Oh, pitch to Amsell, and he gets outside. He nearly broke it. Justin Dubin, inside linebacker, was the man who made the tackle. Otherwise, Amsell could have been on his horse.
Yeah, Amsell, once he gets into that linebacker territory, he seems to pick up speed. At that time, good job by Dubin, the veteran linebacker for Wayne Hills.
Talk about a gutsy call, pitching the ball down in the shadow of your own goalpost. That was the last play, by the way, of the 3rd quarter. So 3 quarters now are in the books here at Wayne Hills High School. Your score after 3, and a good one. Wayne Hills 28, Demarest 21 on Cablevision Sports.
During this school year, the members of the Bergen County Education Association are continuing to provide excellence in public education. In Bergen County, we educate everyone, preparing our students for the future by opening their minds today through quality education in the arts, sciences, and mathematics. 9 out of 10 Bergen County students continue on to higher education. There is no limit to what or when you can learn. Our Bergen County Public Schools work because the Bergen County school employees work with you.
Fourth quarter begins. Lou Brogno, Steve Tober here. Wayne Hills High School. Glad you could join us here on Cablevision Sports. 3rd down, 3. Demarest. And they fumble the snap. Ball is loose at the 15, and Wayne Hills says they've recovered, and the officials agree. So Demarest coughs it right back to Wayne Hills. And the Patriots will have it. 1st and 10 at the Demarest 15. And the fumble recovery by number 52, Paul Jun.
Oh, boy. The exchange of turnovers, and John in the right spot there. And now Wayne Hills can certainly take a giant step towards taking recontrol of this game, increasing their lead here. Great position at the 15.
28-21. Wayne Hills on top. Peichel brings the Patriots up, gives Van Peenan, puts his head down, crushed. Might have picked up a yard, and that's about it. Anthony Lemus on the tackle, the big defensive tackle senior, 6'1", 281. Pickup of a yard. Second down, 9. Just underway, fourth quarter. Wayne Hills trying to go to 4-0 on the year if they can win here tonight. And Demarest coming in at 2-1. If the score holds up, they would drop to 2-2. Flipped outside, Romeo going for the corner. Amsel can't quite get him, and he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. Nice run after the catch by Nick Romeo. His second touchdown of the night.
Peichel very quietly, 3 touchdown passes tonight. Romeo with 2 catches for 6 each. And Wayne Hills is showing a nice diversification in their offense.
So Schultz is in to kick the extra point.
Number 19.
Snap good, kick on the way, and plenty good. With 11:07 remaining in the fourth, it's Wayne Hills 35 and Demarest 21.
Demarest was certainly clawing back in this football game with that turnover and a nice short pass and this quick opener to Romeo. And Romeo turns on the speed, gets past Amsel on the outside and into the end zone. Nicely conceived play to utilize the speed and the run after the catchability of Nick Romeo.
So the Patriots' lead now is 2 touchdowns. And Demarest will have to get it cranked up here as we are in the fourth.
Wayne Hills, Lou, certainly down the line, the game they always measure them by is Ramapo, and you've seen both teams. How would you compare Ramapo and Wayne Hills at this point in the campaign?
It's hard to say. 2 kind of different teams. Ramapo likes that wide open offense. They had the outstanding receiver, Chris Hogan. John Kleinert was injured last week, but he is back now at running back. Different in that situation, but similar in the way that they play defense and have outstanding athletes at skill positions. And Galad slips down. Looked like he might have been on his way, but he goes down at the 24.
I bring it up, Lou, because the kids were already talking about that game. We're still a few weeks away before tonight here at Wayne Hills. It's always the game that people look forward to each and every year in the NBIL.
Well, I'm sure Coach doesn't want to hear that. But,
well, not the players, the fans.
The fans. Okay, well, it's all right for the fans to talk about.
Yeah. Little chatter on the sidelines.
That game is not until October 28th, so got another month to go before the Green Raiders and the Patriots will meet this year at Ramapo. That game is at Ramapo High School. Handoff goes up the middle, and that is a pickup of a couple. Give a little plug to our friends at MSG Network. They'll have that game for you this year, Ramapo Wayne Hills.
An annual staple from Mike Quick and company on MSG. And one thing Wayne Hills has done a decent job of here tonight is just curtailing and containing the passing attack of Demarest, which has been limited by an excellent pass rush, good linebacker and secondary play, and 2 picks tonight by Wayne Hills' Zach Mink.
So second down 7, handoff Amsel trying to get outside, and then a flag is thrown. You're going to have holding on Demarest. And that's going to push the Norsemen back. Kenny Amsel, well, he's played one tough game on both sides of the ball. And the holding penalty.
Holding. Offense. Replay, second down.
Will drive the Norsemen back inside the 15-yard line. And heard referee Tony Mariconda on the call.
Well, you wonder if these teams could all meet down the line in Section 1, Group 3. It seems all has happened. Scott Rubinetti's team has been to the finals the last 2 years.
And if he loses this game, he'll be 2-2, but he's already played Ramapo and Wayne Hills. And another flag on the play. Amsel, good run after the catch, but another flag deep in the Demarest backfield.
Yeah, Demarest shooting itself in the foot on some of these nice conceived plays.
Holding against Demarest. It's going to
Red Captain, where are you?
push them back inside the 10-yard line. But my point being, Steve, that they've already played Ramapo, already played Wayne Hills. Without question, the two top teams in the NBIL. And the rest of the way, Demarest has a very good opportunity to have a successful season and make the playoff. Bring your appetite and a cheering section, and even if you don't want to be in the contest, that's fine. Come and enjoy the fun anyway. Look good, because we'll show part of the contest anyway right here on Cablevision. You wonder if those young ladies will be showing up at Bocce Galoops down the road. That's October 13th, the pizza eating contest for a good cause for the Hurricane Katrina victims.
Bocce Galoop reminds me of the old Abbott and Costello days.
Second down and a mile, a pitch in the end zone, and Amsel takes it, puts his head down and gets across the 15-yard line. The Norsemen living dangerously.
They're not afraid to open things up. They have to, down 2 scores with 9:23 to go. This is a Norseman team that's had to reload, and they graduated a lot of talent. We talk about Richie Goulart and Vinny Esposito. A host of outstanding players, Tommy Caporello, linebacker, and they had some real good players left last year's team, and how to fill in with some younger people. It's going to take some time.
Third down, 17. Harrison Weiss in the shotgun. Twin receivers to the right, and he's looking towards the left, going deep downfield and incomplete. Coverage offered by Omar Rodriguez. So on fourth down, Demarest will drop back in punt formation. 9:14 remaining in the fourth. 35-21, Wayne Hills on top.
Well, we mentioned Rich Goulart and Vinny Esposito. They're both at the University of Albany, a school that's recruiting Kenny Amsel. Some great 1AA football in this country, and a lot of players out of this league, a lot of players from the St. Joe's and the Bergen Catholics end up at those kind of great 1AA schools.
Snap gets through the hands of Amsel, and he somehow...
What a job. Oh, what a job.
Kicks the ball away. It goes across the 50 and bounces inside the 40-yard line. Let me tell you something. Kenny Amsel just made a heck of a play.
He can play for me anytime. What an athletic play. Incredible. I mean, he was on the verge of absorbing a safety back there.
I mean, I don't know how he got that punt away. And not only did he get it away, it was a 50-yard punt.
One of the plays of the year, perhaps, on specials. Taking a look at this one. Look at himself. Now he's going to fumble the high snap. Probably thinking about what he's going to do before he had it. And look at this. He somehow gets it off on the run, under immense pressure, and it kicks it 50 yards downfield.
You know how hard it is to do that? I mean, he's not even setting up and kicking the ball. He's running and kicking the ball. Here's a handoff to Van Peenan. He went down. I think they're going to say his knee touched the ground at about the 38, which will stop the play.
I'll tell you, with Kenny Amsel and Mike Goulart, I mean, a couple of the most exciting players, certainly in North Jersey on one team, on this Demarest squad.
I will say this, though, for Wayne Hills tonight, their first real test of the season. They have steamrolled their first 3 opponents, and they've won by such big scores that a lot of the first-string players have come out early. Not tonight. First string still in there with 8:20 remaining in the fourth. This was very much a football game for a long time. That still is at 35-21, although you do feel that Wayne Hills is in control here. Van Peenan, and he's brought down. Good penetration.
But Lou, the one that Demarest has played a much better defensive second half at the line of scrimmage. They've controlled Wayne Hills' running game much more effectively than they did in the first half, and Wayne Hills seemed to be moving the ball at will.
Jimmy McAgna on the tackle there. He's played a very strong game from his safety position. So 3rd and 10.
Scott Rubenelli thought they played pretty well for 2.5 quarters against Ramapo a couple weeks back. They did lose that game 33-0, but it was 9-0 in the third. And here tonight, they've done a decent job. Wayne Hills is, as you said, in control of this game with 7:32 to go. But Demarest certainly has some things to build on here, regardless of what happens in the last 7.5 minutes.
So Wayne Hills calls a timeout with 7:32 remaining, and they will talk it over. Well, usually you hear us commenting on high school sports in the area, and you know how much we appreciate the challenges associated with sports. But right now, I want to talk to you about a new type of challenge that's coming to high schools in New Jersey. It's called the New Jersey Challenge. On television, the excitement and glory of competition has historically been reserved to the high school athlete. Well, here at Cablevision, we realize that shouldn't be the case. It's time that our high school academic competitors receive their fair share of the glory. And applications to participate have been sent to all high school principals in our area. If you haven't heard about it, check it out at the Power to Learn website, www.powertolearn.com. And if you feel you haven't received an application, call this hotline number, 877-328-9271, for more information. If you've already reviewed your materials and are putting off sending in your registration, remember the deadline is October 3rd. So if you're watching this game after October 3rd, you are too late. Only 32 schools will get to play, and only one school will have the chance to win $10,000 for their school. Van Peenan carries the ball and gets across the 45. So getting back to the New Jersey Challenge, to reiterate, the challenge begins airing November 19th on News 12. The deadline is October 3rd. So if you're watching this game basically on the weekend of October 1st or 2nd, the deadline is Monday. So you might want to get that registration in. Wayne Hills will kick on 4th down. It's a high end-over-end kick. Fair catch called for by Mike Goulad at the 23-yard line. So Demarest will put it in play there. And they still have time, 6:49 remaining. Hey, you never know. If they can get a quick strike on this particular drive, they'd be right back in it. They're only down by 2 scores.
You certainly have a shot if they can get something going in the passing attack or break Amsel on the outside, as they've done twice here tonight. Amsel with a 38-yard run and an 18-yard run for scores.
35-21 the score. All kinds of movement on the line of scrimmage. And Wayne Hills is saying it's a fumble on the play. And they have recovered. So a bad snap gives the ball to the Patriots.
The second time they've had a fumble at the line of scrimmage, that time on the quarterback center exchange. Scotty Schultz has had a pretty good game tonight with a touchdown and strong in the kicking department. Coming up with a fumble recovery. It's got to be frustrating for Scott Rubenetti. The penalties at times and then the turnovers. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, so 4 turnovers. And a couple of them leading to touchdowns.
The ball at the 22-yard line, and Wayne Hills calls timeout. So they'll talk it over with 6:42 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
We talk about when this game turned on the first Zach Mink interception late in the first half, which led to a touchdown for Wayne Hills to increase their lead at the half, and then the fumble that led to the most recent Wayne Hills score on the Romeo TV catch from Peischel to make it 35-21. And those two turnovers there by Rubinetti's team have really hurt.
Well, these two teams will be in action next week, of course. Demarest next week takes on Indian Hills. Then they have Northern Highlands on the road at Mahwah, Pascack Valley, and Old Tappan. So as we mentioned earlier, a couple of tough games there, but for the most part, Demarest has played the cream of the crop in this conference, and they have a very good opportunity to do well the rest of the season.
Certainly the jockey for position for a playoff berth in Section 1, Group 3, with teams like Parsippany Hills from Morris County is having a fine year, who was in the playoffs last year as well. These the two, of course, the two juggernauts, Ramapo and Wayne Hills.
Scott Rubinetti not thinking about any of those games right now. He's lamenting some mistakes made by his team. They were in this game, but mistakes haunted the Norsemen tonight. Peischel carries.
Well, you mentioned Peichel's passing numbers, Lou, before the game. Has he been a quietly efficient field leader for Wayne Hills? 3 touchdown passes, directed the offense with precision. Very calm and collected.
And obviously not superstitious, as Mike wears number 13.
And he paid his dues. He worked under Nick Warzel last year, first-year starting senior. He's been a member of this strong program right along, and he's stepped right in.
This is his team this year. Handoff to not much that time, as Demarest got great penetration at the line of scrimmage.
Well, for Chris Olson and company, you have the football down deep in Demarest territory. You want to eat up clock.
Alex Gibson, the fullback, carried the football. And it'll bring up a third down and about 5. And the clock is ticking down. We're getting close to 5.5 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Chris Olson wants to nail down this victory and hop on a plane tomorrow morning, head to Miami to see son Greg help lead the University of Miami against South Florida.
Peischel that time keeps it himself. Ran into his running back behind the line of scrimmage and then had to eat it, keep it himself. So it brings up a 4th down play. And in comes Scott Schultz, who will try another long field goal.
He didn't miss much by 45 yards in the first half there. We'll see what he does here from about a 36-yard attempt. We'll see where they place it, about 35 yards.
Yeah, actually, they're going to place it at the 24, so it'll be a 34-yard field goal attempt. You're right, Steve. He had the leg from 45 earlier. Peischel will hold. Snap good. Kick is on the way, and it is short. So that one doesn't quite get there.
It's in the rush a little bit. I'm not sure he might have been better off having the snap maybe a couple yards further back, because he does have a tremendous leg. Just didn't get enough into that one.
So Demarest will take over after the missed field goal on downs with 4:25 left. It's still 35-21 Wayne Hills.
Schultz does so much for them. H-back, tight end, fullback, kicker. He does it all.
Well, the Patriots, this is what they have coming up. Old Tappan next week. Then Northern Highlands, Mahwah on the road in the huge game at Ramapo on October 28th. And then the final game, November 4th against Ramsey. Harrison Weiss lets it fly, airing it out. And is it caught? Heck of a catch. Wow, what a catch on the far sideline. Romeo on the coverage, and the catch made by Scott Gillen. That's a terrific catch.
Beautiful catch by Gillen. And hey, Demarest 4:15 to go. If they can get one in quick here, 53 yards to go, but a nice long gainer.
Well, Harrison Weiss showing a pretty good arm there. He aired that out. And it's 1st and 10 Demarest at the 48. Gillen comes wide to the right side. Gulad is in the slot. Greenhill showing blitz, and here they come. Weiss rolling out, still rolling, and he fires. Caught. Gillen comes back to the ball and makes the catch at the 40-yard line. Nice job by Gillen and Weiss.
Weiss feeling the energy building and does a nice job of creating on the run there. Does the 5'10", 165-pound junior quarterback for the Norsemen. We'll see again under tremendous pressure. Thought he might tuck it in and run the football here. Wayne Hill's knowing the pass is coming, and they're just unleashing the blitz. There's Weiss still firing back across the field and coming back nicely to make the grab.
Here's a screen play and a penalty marker on the play across the 40-yard line.
Okay.
Pass is complete to Amzell, tackled by Raven Keenan.
So penalty flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
Holding is the call. And this will back Demarest up.
Just a shame with the 4 turnovers and the penalties. It's really hurt Scott Rubinetti's club tonight.
10-yard penalty.
I think if they didn't turn that ball over, Lou, didn't commit as many penalties, who knows what we'd have here as far as a score.
Well, 3 minutes and 10 seconds counting down here in the fourth quarter. 35-21. Weiss looking to throw, has protection, going long, and it is incomplete. Broken up by Omar Rodriguez. Intended for Mike Goulad.
Taking a look at it, pretty good pass coverage, which has been there all day long. Omar Rodriguez and company. Here we see Weiss just airing it out. And a good job coming across the field. There's Rodriguez to bat that one down. As Demarest has to go to air it out here with 2:55 to go, down 2 scores.
Second down and about 24. Weiss delivers a screen to Goulad, and he is hit and dropped. Mike Fulham read the screen beautifully and comes up to make the play.
Fulham's had a couple of big plays here tonight, very quietly, part of that stingy Wayne Hill's resistance. I was going to say that what's nice this weekend, the first weekend we've had a nice, cool, crisp fall weather after a couple of hot weeks to start the season, and the players certainly can withstand getting into the fourth quarter here in the waning moments. Fulham and company holding fort.
So we're down to 2 minutes left. On a third down play, Weiss delivers, and it's caught by an offensive lineman. I can't do that. The center, Howard Rim, made the catch. And he started to run like a running back after he made that catch.
Oh, why not? I mean, penalty flag's going to be thrown anyway.
Yeah, that would be an eligible receiver.
Well, we'll take a look at Harrison Weiss. No one to throw to, so why not throw to the center? The way Rim was turned, you couldn't see his number.
Well,
they thought he was a tight end.
Oh, they'll be on him for that. But you know what? He made a nice move after the catch.
Yeah, Howie.
Nice spin.
He's had a great year at middle linebacker, getting a pass reception from his center position. Unfortunately,
that's a center's dream.
Yep, certainly is. Being a former center myself, I can attest to that.
So under 2 minutes left now. On a fourth down and 38. 4th and 38. Weiss looking to throw. Lets it fly down the field, and it's caught! a catch by Scott Gillen, but he is short of first down yardage. They had to pick up 38 yards, and he picked up about 36.
It's only 36, but what a job by Gillen. Just Gillen and Weiss together. This is a tremendous play. I thought this Demarest team, despite the fact they're going to go down to their second loss here, they've really played with some guts and guile here tonight. It's a nice play. Gillen leaping in the air and just wanting that football. He realized he was a couple of yards short, but a great job by Gillen on the receiving end. Yeah, that's high school football. Full effort.
So Wayne Hills will try to kill it here with 1:25 left. And they hand it off. No, Peichel's going to keep it himself. Takes a hit and goes down. And the clock stops momentarily with 1:16 remaining.
I'll tell you, one of the guys you could certainly give a game ball to would be the quarterback, Mike Peichel. 3 touchdown passes, the way he's run the team here tonight. He's been outstanding.
Yeah, there's so many players you could go to on the Wayne Hill side. Certainly Van Peenan and Romeo, and a lot of players have had excellent games. But I agree, Steve. I think Mike Peichel, the senior, has been an excellent field manager for this team tonight. And
he's thrown for 3 scores.
We'll look to talk to number 13 after the game, Mike Peichel.
Had a nice bootleg earlier in the game for about 35 yards.
And head coach Chris Olson. So Wayne Hills will move to 4-0.
This is a Wayne Hills team. Again, a whole brand new offensive line. They formed well with Dave Ogden at tackle leading the way, and Matt Johnson on the other side, Paul June, Matty Gallo, and Peter Staluppi, and the quarterback Peichel stepping in, doing a super job. And this Wayne Hills team is going to be a handful. And Demarest under Scotty Rubinetti will look to regroup at 2-2, and they've got a lot of winnable games coming up.
Handoff goes up the middle. And the clock stops with 1:10 left. Demarest calls yet another timeout.
Daniel Yee on the tackle.
Well, you think about it, Lou. If Demarest doesn't turn the ball over 4 times, 2 leading to touchdowns, plus numerous penalties, again, they did a pretty good job. They're going to fall 35-21, and they were pretty good at counting themselves. And it's this Wayne Hills team, which is, again, going to be a power, both obviously in the NBIL title chase with Ramapo and later on in North 1 Group 3 as they look to defend their championship.
See Scott Rubinetti there.
Scott was very happy as Montclair State team went down last week and beat Salisbury down in Maryland.
And here's Romeo, who is knocked down at the 30-yard line, and we're down to 1 minute left. And the clock continues to roll. 55 seconds and counting down here in the 4th quarter. And this one all but in the books.
Great action from the Iron Hills Conference next week, Lou. Morristown and Morris Knowles, and Bill Regan's Golden Eagles undefeated going into the weekend. One of the top teams in a challenger in Section 1 Group 4, taking on Chris Hull's Morristown Colonials.
So that'll be a big one out in Morris County. Looking forward to that. That's next week right here on Cablevision Sports. 20 seconds left, and Wayne Hills takes a delay of game penalty as the clock ticks down to 18 seconds. And that'll back them up 5.
Delay game against the Patriots.
Van Peenan in punt formation. Demarest going for the block. Penalty flag down as the ball is kicked out of bounds at the 50-yard line. But there's a flag down with just 12 seconds left.
Well, I think both teams found out a little bit about themselves here tonight. Wayne Hill certainly with the first test they've had so far this year. And Demarest knowing they can do a lot of different things offensively and build on this for next week. And again, as you've mentioned, they faced the two toughest teams on their regular season schedule. And hopefully for them, they can pick up a few more victories and qualify for the playoffs while Wayne Hill's try to get ready and build towards that October 28th showdown in Franklin Lakes with their arch rival.
Here's the call, illegal procedure.
Left, they're gonna throw it up.
Decline. Demarest will take the football, and with just 12 seconds left, we'll see if the Norsemen try to launch one towards the end zone.
Sports, the Yankees are losing 5-3 up in Boston.
What inning, Mo?
And Ramapo has lost this evening also.
Whoa, we just got a score here that Ramapo has lost tonight. But we don't have that confirmed. Pascack Valley. What a win that would be for Pascack Valley if that is the case. Here's Weiss throwing downfield, and it's intercepted by Romeo. He will run it out, and this will end the game. He takes his shot and goes down. Ball game over. Final score, Wayne Hills 35, Demarest 21. We'll be back to talk about it in just a moment on Cablevision Sports.
Lou Brogno here for the New Jersey Challenge. Invitations to participate in the challenge have been sent to all high school principals in our News 12 area. If you feel you haven't received an application, call this hotline number, 877-328-9271 for more information. If you have already reviewed your materials and are putting off sending in your registration, remember the deadline is October 3rd. Only 32 schools will get to play, and only one will have the chance to win $10,000 for their school. See you on the challenge.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few, dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Welcome back to Wayne Hills, where the Patriots have just defeated Demarest by the score of 35-21. And standing by with the player of the game, senior quarterback Mike Peischel, and also head coach Chris Olson. And Mike, we'll start with you. Let's talk a little bit about this big win tonight. Demarest came out fighting, but you guys, every time, especially in the first half, you seemed that you really had your offensive rhythm.
Yeah, the defense didn't come out and play the way we wanted it to tonight. So as an offense, we knew that we had to come in and pick up the slack. And I mean, everybody did a heck of a job. O-line opened huge holes for Ray. We had everything going tonight.
Talk about this team so far. Off to a 4-0 start. You guys look like you have it in high gear.
Yeah, offense, we've been playing well. Defense, before tonight, we've been playing outstanding. And, I mean, this is right where we said we wanted to be in the summer, and we're here.
All right. Congratulations, Mike, and good luck the rest of the season. Thanks. Okay. Coach, a nice win here tonight. You knew Demarest was going to be a tough team, but your team came out on top by 2 touchdowns.
We certainly know it was going to be hard. You know what I'm saying? I thought we played well at offense most of the time. I thought we probably should have scored another touchdown, maybe 2. And I'm really disappointed that we gave up more than 1 touchdown on defense. I mean, I thought we might give up 1. Now, one was our fault, a fumble for a scoop up. All right, but we shouldn't have given up 2 touchdowns on defense. But we need to go back and look at that, see what we can do.
What about your team now? 4-0, off to an excellent start.
We're 4-0 with a very good, we're happy about that. We know we got a good old Japan team coming in next week. So we'll enjoy this one tonight and get work tomorrow, I guess.
All right, congratulations,
Right.
Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
Fellas.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. Great show.
All right, thanks, Chris. And Steve Tober steps in now. Steve, obviously a huge win for Wayne Hills, and with the word that Ramapo has lost at Pascack Valley, the Patriots now in the driver's seat here in this NBIL.
Yeah, certainly in the NBIL race, Lou, they're in the driver's seat, but a lot of football to be played. Certainly Pascack Valley is a strong club. Ramapo down the line for Wayne Hills. As we saw last year with Demarest, Wayne Hills, Ramapo, a little round robin. They knocked each other off, and Wayne Hills came up in the end, beating Demarest. But I give Demarest credit tonight, Lou. 4 turnovers, a couple of interceptions, a couple of fumbles, but they hung in there. And with Mike Goulart and Kenny Amsell, they got some weapons. I think the future's bright for Scott Rubinetti's Demarest Norsemen, and Wayne Hills has got another juggernaut forming.
Let's take a look. Time to take a look at our Cablevision play of the game. There were so many great plays in this game, you don't know where to start. But let's start with Wayne Hills, one of their early touchdowns. Mike Peischel throwing to the end zone to Romeo.
Yeah, Nick Romeo showing great leaping ability and great concentration to go up there and grab that ball out of the air. Romeo with a couple of TD catches here today, Lou. That's certainly one of the sensational ones. And Peischel, the quarterback you had on, what a nice job he did, I think, directing this team, showing a lot of fans from Wayne Hills that Nick Warzel might have gone on to Louisiana Tech, the big 6'5", 220-pounder, but Peichel's right there as a senior to step in and really lead this team with precision.
All right, huge win for the Patriots tonight. They go to 4-0 in the season, and Demarest drops to 2-2, but they're much better than that record would indicate. Next week, more high school football coming at you right here on Cablevision Sports. Morristown and Morris Knowles, big rivalry, and it should be a big game in the Iron Hills Conference Saturday, October 8th at 7 p.m. Looking forward to that, Steve.
That's going to be great, Lou. We've got some great high school football for you here on Cablevision, and next week should be more of the same.
All right, that'll do it here from Wayne Hills High School. For Steve Tober and everyone here at Cablevision Sports, I'm Lou Brogno saying thanks for joining us. Again, your final score, Wayne Hills 35 and Northern Valley Demarest 21.